welcome back. In this second tutorial video, we're going to be walking through stage 1 of Edmit Career, thinking through finding our North Star. Once we click start on the first piece of content here in stage 1, we'll see some information about why you should do a self-assessment. Now I'll just walk through the 3 main points here, but when you go through this, feel free to pause the video and really take your time when you're going through this content. The 3 main points about self-assessments here are: number 1, the self-assessment is a useful strategy to help narrow down future career options. Number 2, students should consider several factors about themselves to find a well-suited career. And finally, completing a self-assessment before graduating high school helps you ensure that your next steps make sense for your chosen career. If you have any more questions after reading through these main points, you can always go deeper and read the full guide linked between the back and next buttons. I'll then click next. The next page here talks about how our interests, skills, and values can match to our future career. Number 1, our interests, skills, and values should all be considered when we research potential careers. Number 2, we're going to list our top personality traits, or the ones that stand out most to us, and look for patterns. And then number 3, we're going to start researching careers and pairing jobs with those traits. As with the last section, if you'd like to learn more, you can always go deeper and read the full guide linked between the back and next buttons. When we're all set here, I'll click next. The next step is going to be taking an interest quiz to identify careers that might be interesting to us. What we're going to do here is we're going to leave Edmit temporarily to go to the ONET Interest Profiler, which is part of My Next Move. My Next Move is an interactive tool for job seekers and students to learn more about career options. So why should we do this? Well, we want to discover potential career paths that you might not have thought of that align with your interests. You might be asking, how long does this take? Usually 10 to 15 minutes, so don't overthink it and trust yourself and go with that initial reaction. You won't need anything but an open mind, we like to share. And finally, when you're done, you'll save a list of potential career paths, and then you'll be able to enter them in Edmit where you can compare them apples to apples. Let's click next and see how we can continue. Here are some 3-step instructions about the ONET Profiler. Number 1, when you get to ONET, it will look like this picture on the left. We'll have some questions where we can answer and walk through together. After that, the next thing is we want to make sure we save our results, and I'll make sure to walk through this when we get there. Number 3, here we see some more in-depth instructions on how to use the ONET Profiler and make sure we save our results to access them and use them later in Edmit. I'll walk through this in the tutorial video, but again, as you're walking through, make sure you pay close attention to these steps on screen. Once we've read through those, let's go ahead and click Take the Quiz. That will open up a new tab and bring us to the ONET Interest Profiler. Here, we'll click Next. The ONET Profiler will ask us 60 questions about work and activities that some people do in their jobs. We're going to read each question or scenario carefully and decide how we would feel about doing each type of work. Our response can range from strongly dislike to strongly like, and we'll fill in the corresponding bubbles. Let's go ahead and click Next again. What we're going to do is we're going to try not to think about if you have enough education or training to do the work, as well as how much money the work would make. We want this to be what you like or dislike, and we'll tackle the financial side a little bit later on. I'll then click Next again. Additionally, there are no right or wrong answers. Take your time answering these questions and feel free to pause the video if you need more time. This quiz is going to help us learn about our interests so we can explore work that is most rewarding to us. On the next screen, we're going to answer each question in order before continuing. There are 5 screens of questions in all, and you can always change your answers at any time. Feel free to use the back button to do so. Once we're ready, we'll click Next again. And here we'll see the first questions laid out for us. As I mentioned earlier, your responses can range from strongly dislike to strongly like. Also, as I mentioned, we're going to fill in the corresponding bubble for each activity, and there are 60 of them in all. I'm going to go ahead and skip past the section of this video where I'm completing the survey, and I'll meet you on the other side of it. Make sure you pause the video and take your time going through the survey. It's super important your answers to these questions are honest, as it will help us really identify which careers might be the best fit for you. All right. Now that we've answered all of the questions, we can go back and review or change answers at any time by clicking the back button. If you answered unsure for any of the questions, you might want to review them now. Here you can view your unsure answers and even change them if you'd like. When you're ready, let's use the next button to see our interest profile. Here we see an overview of our interest profiler results. Now these interests are kind of general, and we'll start to see some more specific careers in just a minute. If we want to learn more about a particular interest shown in this graph, we can click on that corresponding title in this set of links below. When we're all set there, let's click Next and continue. The next thing ONET will do for us is introduce the concept of job zones. Job zones are groups of careers that need the same level of experience, education, and/or training. Different careers need different amounts of preparation, so you'll be asked to pick a job zone. Using your job zone and your interests, the interest profiler will then help you identify and explore careers that might be right for you. I'll go ahead and click Next. When picking your job zone, you can choose your current job zone, which is the job zone that matches the kind of experience, education, and training that you might have now, or your future job zone. This will be choosing the job zone that matches the amount of experience, education, and training that you plan to get in the future. In both cases, your job zone will include careers that you might like to do. Don't worry about making the wrong choice. You can always explore a different job zone later on. I'll go ahead and click Next. What this page allows for us to do is click on each job zone and understand what the definitions of each are. Job zone 1 is little or no preparation needed. Some of the careers here may need a high school diploma or GED certificate. Job zone 2 would be some preparation needed. These careers usually need a high school diploma. Job zone 3, which is medium preparation needed, mostly require vocational school training, on-the-job experience, or an associate's degree from a community college. Most of the careers in job zone 4, high preparation needed, would need a 4-year bachelor's degree, but some don't. Finally, job zone 5, which is extensive preparation needed, would require graduate education. For example, they may require a master's degree, and some might even require a PhD, MD, or JD, which is a law degree. I'll click Close and then click Next. Here we have the ability to select which job zone we'd like to look at first. Again, we can revisit the definitions here by clicking on the blue links, but for now, I'll click Job Zone 3 and then click Next. Here we'll see a summary page before ONET will show us careers, just so we can double check all of our information. We see our interest results, as well as our job zone that we selected, and finally, we'll click Next one more time, and we'll see careers that might be of interest to us based on our survey results. What we want to do here is click on Print, and at the top of the page, if we click Print again, we can save this document as a PDF. That's the best way to keep track of all these careers that were just suggested for us, and it's also a way for us to revisit it at any time. What I'm going to do now, though, is choose some of these careers that seem interesting to me, and then go back to Edmit and add them to my profile. For example, I'll choose camera operators. I'll scroll down and add another career, for example, graphic designer. And maybe I'll choose one more, film and video editor. I'll then click Next. Here we get a notification letting us know we've just finished the Stage 1 study session. We also get a message that says, knowing oneself is the key to understanding, and a paycheck. Sounds pretty good to me. Now that's all for this video, but stay tuned for the next one where we talk about exploring different career paths and how to use data to make better financial decisions. Thanks so much. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.